Hello, and welcome to another episode of the CamerataCast. This is Andres Marquez, your host, as always, and today I have with me Kyra, an amazing, multifaceted, multi-talented creative with a whole bunch of different projects, ranging from music to sort of upcycled fashion. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Why don't you take it away, Kyra?
Hi, my name's Kyra. I'm a musician and I'm a stylist, and I like to create things. So that's what I like to do.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. It certainly seems like it. There, yeah, like I've said, I've been looking into all the stuff you do, and you've got a whole bunch of really cool accolades going your way. It's awesome to see. If you don't mind me starting off with your music, you released a really cool song called "Love You Better."
You love them better than me. Got them love that isn't spring. You gave me absolutely nothing. Don't act like you don't know what I mean. Yeah, things you never do with me. But you let me see who I'm really supposed to be. I can say I'd rather see you happy. See me in the street with love.
And it is. I read, what is it? VQ Studios. They did an interview with you about the song. Um, so, for those who haven't read the interview, it's a really lovely 3 minute tune about learning to love yourself after heartbreak. You want to give a bit more detail about it though?
Yeah, so it was like a song that I wrote during the quarantine because I had a lot of time to myself.
Hmm.
So it made me reflect more about things I could have done better and like what I've learned from things that weren't necessarily like the greatest things that happened. It was my first like self-produced song. Like I did everything, so
Mm.
I was really proud of it.
Oh, that's rad. You did everything, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool to hear. I love it when, artists just kind of take the full reins on their musical projects. If you don't mind me asking, how long did it take to make everything come to life?
mm, I think a week. It was pretty solid, to be honest.
Oh, that's awesome. I wish I had that sort of efficiency when it came to my songwriting. That's rad. Yeah. So I also read on the interview that you've got like an EP coming up. How do you feel you're taking this songwriting experience and transferring it to a larger collection of songs?
I'm pretty nervous about it, to be honest, because it's like my first like baby like project, I guess. So
Hmm.
it's like it means a lot to me. Like coming like this far, I didn't really think I'd like get to like an EP point. So it's a lot of like self growth, like personally and like musically.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, making a collection of songs definitely has, its perks because usually you want to go with the theme. You want,
Right.
everything to be connected in some way. If you don't mind me asking, do you have like a set theme for this EP? Is there anything that's sort of guiding you along your songwriting and producing path for this?
Well, I'm doing an EP because it's also kind of for like school. We have like a senior project. So it's kind of like a collection of my experiences of what I've been going through while like attending school for like music. So I think that's kind of like the main theme of it.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, and you go to Cal Poly Pomona, correct?
Yeah.
Sorry, adjusting my mic real fast. All right, my bad about that.
You're
But yeah,
good.
Cal Poly Pomona, it's a really cool school. Old friend of mine went there. Shout out to you, Joseph, if you happen to be listening to this. But yeah, regarding Cal Poly Pomona, I also saw that you were featured in their Fashion Society. I believe it was their latest issue, or maybe a slightly later issue.
I
But yeah,
think, yeah, this is their most recent one.
yeah, it's really cool. You also happen to do, as you said, you are a stylist. You happen to work with fashion, with clothing. And this interview was really It's really neat checking out all these different, fits you've created and the inspiration behind it. How long have you been working on, designing outfits and designing looks?
Um, it's kind of hard for me to say. I've always like put things together, I guess. Just like something that reflects like how I'm feeling. I
Hmm.
started doing it more again during like the quarantine because I had so much time and I realized how much like I like doing it. So yeah, I was just seeing what I like.
I get you. I get you. Would you feel that, you know, creating looks and stuff like that? Do you feel that that's more of a, um, how can I put this? Between music and fashion, if you, don't mind me calling it that. There's a whole bunch of words for it I've been using. But between music and fashion, what do you feel is closer to your heart?
Um, oh, that's really hard to say. I think just like I don't like to keep it like I don't want to say like limited, but like just to
Hmm.
like those things because I always try to like do new things that allows me just to like create something that like I feel or that I want to like talk about. But I think just like creating in general is like really close to my heart.
Awesome. That's what I love to hear. It's awesome to see people whose creativity is so multifaceted. Yeah. So also, I did want to ask because I had seen on your YouTube page you have this video about how few fast fashion brands are kind of taking from, smaller designers, and it was a very interesting video. It made me want to look into it more. And I do want to ask, how invested do you feel that you excuse me how brain fart, how invested do you feel in issues like, fast fashion being exploitative, fast fashion being um predatory regarding smaller artists and designers? um I'm not as keyed into fashion as I suppose other people are. But, as somebody who's dedicated to the environmentalist front, I know that fast fashion is definitely one of those industries that is incredibly exploitative and is also incredibly detrimental to the environment. So I wanted to ask, like, what started your interest in this, and how has that interest grown?
Well, I started like learning about it when I declared like my minor in fashion. I had taken a class, and this was like, it's kind of part of like every fashion class. They talk about like fast fashion and how it negatively impacts like the environment and just like ethical issues and stuff.
Hmm.
I just quit my job at Forever 21, which is obviously a really big fast fashion company.
Right.
And it just made me feel so much better. I didn't have to like be part of that anymore because it was always conflicting because we consume so much fast fashion just because
Hmm.
most of us can't afford like $100 t-shirt, you know, even though it's made more ethically. Their workers are paid like a living wage instead of like practically nothing in other countries, you know.
Yeah.
But just being aware that just what I'm contributing to, I guess, and it's just harder because it's like the United States is like obviously really like capitalistic, so it's like you're kind of in this rut of like capitalism. So it's like I'm trying to find my way and trying to do what I can, like as an individual, to just be aware of what I'm contributing to.
Hmm. Hey, here's to that. I always appreciate somebody who has, not necessarily disillusioned regarding capitalism, but is at the very least like aware of the faults of the system and is aiming for, change even within their individual life. So
Yeah,
yeah, here's to you, Kyra.
thank
That
you.
is big stuff. If along those lines, I also do want to ask, where excuse me, do you see yourself, acting in greater ways against, fast fashion or even other adjacent issues regarding industry and organization? Like, is this something that you could imagine yourself being a part of, like an organization, being a part of like boycotts, protests, or whatever?
Oh yeah, totally. I think that's like something I've been wanting to do for like a while. I'm just like trying to like find myself, you know. I'm in this like kind of time where it's just things are kind of like unknown and like I'm trying to find like my footing, but I definitely would be like involved in those kinds of groups. Like I know in LA there's like I've been looking there's like a lot of organizations that's like especially within the fashion district, you know, and just having like regulations of like just making apparel and how the workers are being treated.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something I'm really passionate about. Yeah.
Awesome, digging it, digging it. Uh, excuse me, crack my neck a little. Cool. All right. So, if you don't mind me kind of switching topics, we do that a bit right now, but that's what this is about. I do want to ask a more personal question, if you don't mind answering. Do you have like a specific, goal or a place that you see yourself in, maybe within a year, 3 years or so? Is there like a dream that you're aiming for?
Um, Realistically, I'm just trying to graduate and get my degree because it's been a very long time. I'm
Hmm.
planning to go to graduate school for fashion design, so I'm really excited. I'm a bit nervous, but it's like a new, you know, chapter, something I can now pivot towards because I've been spending all my time on music. I'm not saying like I'm gonna stop doing music, but like now I get some more, you know, insight on fashion design, which is something I've always wanted to do.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm wishing you the best for your graduation.
Thank you.
Yeah. How many semesters you got?
Just this one and then the next one, and then I'm gonna graduate. So,
Hell yeah. That's rad. Yeah, I just got my AA, so I'm happy about that. I'm happy that I don't
oh,
have to.
congrats.
Yeah, it's I want to aim for like a bachelor's at the least, but like
Mhm.
for right now I just want to see what I can get with an
Yeah.
AA, see if that can help me at least, improve my income as it were.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. So, if you don't mind me asking just one more question, actually two more. One more
Okay.
question. For those, you know, people who are listening to this cast right now, what do you want people to know most about, your creative work? What do you want people to think when they see your designs or when they hear your music? What is that piece of you that you want to impart upon them as they're experiencing your work?
Um, I would say like that you're never alone. Like someone's experiencing the same thing that you're going through. So that's what I hope. Like when people listen to my music, like they understand. Like oh, like she's going through this too, or she went through this too. So like there's some kind of comfort because I used to think I was alone, but I'm really not. And music was really like a big part of it. Like oh my gosh, like everyone, we're all in this like orbiting rock and we're all living different experiences but at the same time like very similar experiences. I don't know if that makes sense, but we're all like human, you know.
No, no, I totally get you. That's like that's one of those comforting experiences that I've felt as well. Just like, people are going through it just like I am. People
Right.
are, finding their ways to cope and finding their ways to, you know, keep on chugging.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig that. That's a very beautiful Kyra. Yeah, and one more question before we hit the road. This is a sort of community, sort of collective that we're trying to put together. This is something that's very much based upon, helping out other artists and making other artists or helping other artists be known, get exposure, that kind of stuff. Um, we want to, put our hands out for each other. And I did want to ask if there are any people in your creative community that you would like to shout out, you would like people to check out and support their work. Just drop whatever names you'd like, and have people explore that.
Okay, cool. I Francine Nicole. She does she does music. She's very talented. I love her. I adore her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Shout out to Camille. She's always pushing me to do better, and she's very supportive. Love her. Ivan does his live sound. Inspires me too. He's pretty cool. Um, and I'm trying to think. Oh, and then Jasper, he also does music too, and he's very talented. I'm surrounded by so many talented people. Like I can't even name them all, but those are the ones that like really impact my life and impacting my life right now.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'd love to see it. Creative community is one of those most righteous of communities. I love to hear it. All right, so we're going to wind down the cast now. I want to thank you again, Kyra, for spending some time with me on the cast and for sharing your thoughts and opinions. If there's anything else that you would want to share, then now's your time. You can give all your social media stuffs. You can share any upcoming projects.
Okay. You can find me on Instagram at Angel Girl Kyra. Same thing with YouTube and TikTok. I'm all the same username.
Hmm.
I'm about to release a single, I believe, before the EP drops. I'm not really sure when it's gonna be released, but sometime before the year ends. And yeah,
Cool.
thank you.
Ah, no worries. All right. This has been the Camerata Podcast, and Andres Marquez, your host as always. Thank you all for tuning in, and we hope to catch y'all on the flip side in our next episode. Adios.